News alert! The students of China are once again challenging the terribly powerful and loving People's Republic of China. The students selfishly believe they are entitled to voting rights, free speech, despite the government's defense against it. Protests have erupted in Hong Kong where the infidels demand Western rights. The police have been tear gassing, battering, and increasing the protester. However, they still stand, congesting the business districts of Hong Kong like an overdue bowel movement. The ordeal began when a reasonable change of policy in Hong Kong occurred. The new law states a republic can select the presidential candidates for further elections in Hong Kong. Luckily, China is in total control of the situation and is determined not to show any sign of weakness.
Yeah, in total control. That makes sense. So try to imagine a situation like this. The government is holding a guinea pig race between two guinea pigs. One has been given performance-enhancing steroids, and the other is, well, dead. This is perfectly akin to what the Chinese government is doing by self-selecting its candidates. It's also the reason for the student protests. Clearly, this is not the first time, though, that those pesky students have protested for their rights. Anyone remember a little incident called Tiananmen Square? I bet you do, but the majority of Chinese people don't. That has all changed this time around, though. The entire world is watching, so the Chinese government can't use its go-to solution, squashing the protesters. Similarly, Instagram has just been blocked from its Chinese users, which is strange because the Chinese government seems to love the site. This was the last unblocked social media site that connected the chairman to his good friend Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. So this decision was clearly not taken lightly.
So I was teaching at Centennial for 8 years and was so happy at Centennial. I love my former students. I'm still in touch with them, and I had all AP English and freshman honors. It was great. I love Centennial. I didn't leave because I was unhappy. And then Paul and I were put in touch randomly, just kind of by coincidence and chance. And he asked me to come for a tour last spring and just to talk about education. There were no openings available for an English teacher, but I came. And after touring the facility, my mouth was open. I was pretty much drooling, considering my actual facility in my classroom was definitely not as clean and tidy and beautiful and pristine as this campus is. So that was quite an eye-opener to me. And I hadn't taught in a private school setting before, even though I'd gone to private school. Growing up, it's still different being on the other side. And so we toured for about an hour and a half. I was here quite a while, and I left wanting desperately to teach here, but not thinking that it would happen, and still being very happy at Centennial. And so I was 100% set on going back to Centennial. And then 2 weeks before school started, I received a phone call from Maura Rosen saying, as of an hour ago, we have an English position. Are you interested? Come in and see us. And so I came in, but still not thinking that it was going to happen, and it did. And so that afternoon, I accepted the position pretty much and told my former school the next day. Well, I grew up playing soccer. I mean, from the time I was 3 on, I always played soccer. I loved it immediately. And my brother played soccer. He's older than I, and I played. When I was in the States, I was always on a traveling team, school teams, but mostly traveling, competitively playing. And then when we moved to London, the private schools, all of the international schools compete against one another. And so I joined the varsity soccer team my freshman year. We had varsity and JV, and the soccer teams were very competitive, very, very competitive at my school. I mean, it's England. Football, soccer is the main sport. It's the most important sport. People live and die by it. So I played varsity all 4 years. I was captain my senior year, and we won our ISST's international school sports tournaments every year, and we would compete all over Europe. So my senior year, I think we played in Germany, and we would play in the Olympic stadiums and travel everywhere for these tournaments, and parents would come. It was a big, big deal. So I loved it. I played goalie. I would occasionally play on the field, defense, either as stopper or right fullback, but my main position from when I was little, I always played goalie. I think my mom has a memory of me catching a ball when I should not have been catching a ball on the field. I think I was playing forward at 4 or 5 years old, and they were like, okay, she belongs back in the goal. And so that's what I always played. Let's see, the best thing I've experienced at Adelson so far is just the people. I mean, before school started, the faculty was so welcoming and helpful, especially because this was such a quick turnaround for me. And then meeting the kids, I pretty much fell in love with them immediately. They've been great, and they've been warm and welcoming as well, and fun and engaging and really, really personable. So, I mean, I think the people make up any school, and so far, the people at Adelson have been wonderful to me. So I'm very happy with that. And then other things, I mean, class sizes. Coming from public school where there are 40 students per class and you teach 6 classes to this, I mean, we're so fortunate to be able to get to know one another and to have that personalized educational setting. So I've loved that as well. And the facility is great. I mean, I could go on and on.